If your grocery bill keeps climbing every time you shop at Walmart, you're not imagining things. Despite claims that inflation is cooling, food prices are still rising, and Walmart CEO Doug McMillon is warning that 2025 could bring even tougher times for American consumers. McMillon says a perfect storm of economic pressures is about to drive grocery prices even higher. Lower agricultural production, rising import costs, and new tariffs set to take effect in the coming weeks are all pushing food inflation to record-breaking levels. He admitted that food inflation is rising again, pointing to eggs and dairy as major culprits. But it doesn't stop there. Cocoa, coffee, and other essentials are also becoming more expensive, making it even harder for families to afford the basics. After 4 straight years of rising food prices, many Americans were hoping for relief. But based on Walmart's latest projections, the worst may still be ahead. If you thought the past few years were bad, what's coming next could make those price hikes look small in comparison. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Economy Explorer so you don't miss out on what's really happening. And stay tuned until the end, because every part of this video is crucial. What is really driving grocery prices through the roof? McMillon's warning isn't just speculation. He is basing it on hard economic data that shows a troubling trend. From December 10th to January 10th, 2025 alone, supermarket food prices increased by 1.1%. At Walmart, food prices have soared by more than 40% since 2020, with no signs of stopping. Inflation reports show that the cost of basic essentials continues to rise, contradicting government reports that claim inflation is stabilizing. The primary drivers behind this crisis are a mix of factors, including lower agricultural production in the United States, increased transportation costs, and global supply disruptions. Farmers are struggling to keep up with demand due to poor soil conditions, extreme weather patterns, and the rising cost of fertilizers. Meanwhile, supply chain challenges and high fuel prices continue to push up transportation costs, making it even more expensive to get food onto store shelves. How bad will import tariffs make this crisis? On top of rising agricultural costs, import tariffs are about to make things even worse. The new trade policies set to take effect in 2025 will introduce a 60% tariff on all Chinese imports and an across-the-board 10% tariff on all $3 trillion worth of U.S. imports. Since nearly 40% of the items Walmart sells are imported, this means even more price increases across multiple categories. Electronics, clothing, and household goods will all be affected, but food will take one of the biggest hits. According to economists at the Peterson Institute for International Economics, these new tariffs could cost middle-class families at least $1,700 per year in higher expenses. This measure alone could drain an additional $500 billion from American consumers annually, wiping out any wage growth that households might have seen over the past few years. The worst part? These tariffs will hit low-income families the hardest, making it even more difficult for millions of Americans to afford the basics. Are grocery stores price gouging, or are they struggling to survive? While many shoppers are quick to blame grocery stores for price gouging, the reality is more complicated. Walmart and other major retailers are facing intense pressure to keep their prices competitive while dealing with skyrocketing costs from suppliers. John David Rainey, Walmart's chief financial officer, recently admitted that while the company aims to keep prices as low as possible, certain categories will inevitably see price hikes. With higher tariffs on imported goods and rising costs for domestic suppliers, Walmart has little choice but to pass these costs on to consumers. For many retailers, keeping shelves stocked with affordable goods is becoming increasingly difficult. The balance between keeping prices low and staying profitable is becoming harder to maintain, leading to a situation where both consumers and businesses are struggling at the same time. Are consumers already feeling the effects of these price increases? For millions of American households, the impact of these rising prices is already being felt. A recent survey by Swiftly revealed that 30% of U.S. households earning less than $56,000 per year are struggling to afford basic groceries. Shoppers are being forced to make tough decisions about what to buy and what to cut from their shopping lists. Many are switching from fresh produce to frozen alternatives, opting for store-brand items instead of name brands, and cutting back on non-essential groceries. Some of the biggest price spikes so far have been in eggs, dairy, and packaged foods, but other essentials like coffee and seafood are also becoming unaffordable for many. A viral Reddit post from a Walmart shopper in California showed a receipt where an 18-count carton of great value eggs was selling for $9.52, more than triple what it cost just a year ago. Customers expressed their frustration, with one writing, "I was shocked. Just a few months ago, I was paying $2 to $3. Now it's $9. This is insane." Others chimed in, saying they were being forced to stretch their food budgets to levels they had never experienced before. Will America face a food shortage due to failing agricultural production? Beyond inflation and tariffs, there is a much deeper crisis unfolding, one that threatens America's entire food supply. The nation's agricultural soil is deteriorating at an alarming rate, leading to declining crop yields and higher production costs. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, 33% of the Earth's soils are already degraded, and more than 90% could be degraded by 2050 if current trends continue. In the U.S., the situation is even worse. Farmers are losing billions of metric tons of topsoil each year, making it harder to grow staple crops like wheat, corn, and soybeans. This is forcing many farmers to rely on expensive fertilizers and costly irrigation systems, further driving up food production costs. Experts warn that if soil degradation continues at its current pace, the U.S. could face a severe food shortage within the next decade, making grocery prices soar to levels never seen before. Anand Itharajlu, a former farmer and project director at the Save Soil movement, explained that the loss of topsoil is directly linked to rising food prices. The worse it gets, the higher your grocery bill will be. Is there any hope for grocery prices to come down? If you were hoping that food prices would finally stabilize in 2025, the latest warnings from Walmart's CEO and economic experts suggest otherwise. Inflation is still far from under control, and with tariffs set to increase costs on thousands of products, consumers are likely to see continued price hikes for the foreseeable future. Many experts believe that unless there is a major policy shift or a sudden increase in agricultural production, grocery prices will remain elevated for years to come. Some retailers are attempting to offset the impact by expanding private label products and negotiating better deals with suppliers. But these efforts can only do so much. Meanwhile, American households will need to continue adjusting their spending habits, finding ways to cut costs wherever possible. What can you do to prepare for even higher grocery prices in 2025? With grocery inflation showing no signs of slowing down, now is the time to start preparing for even higher prices. As essentials like eggs, dairy, and packaged foods continue to surge, many households will need to adjust their spending habits to avoid financial strain. Stocking up on non-perishable items before prices climb even further can help minimize the impact of these increases. Staples like rice, pasta, canned goods, and frozen vegetables are smart investments as they have a long shelf life and can provide essential nutrition at a lower cost. Switching to more affordable food options is another way to manage rising costs. Instead of purchasing brand-name products, opting for store-brand alternatives can make a noticeable difference in overall grocery bills. Consumers should also pay close attention to weekly sales, coupons, and discount programs offered by retailers like Walmart, Aldi, and Costco. Shopping at farmers markets or discount grocery stores may also provide better deals on fresh produce and meats compared to major supermarket chains. For those with the means, buying in bulk can be a cost-effective strategy, especially for families. Warehouse stores like Sam's Club and Costco offer bulk discounts on pantry essentials, dairy products, and meats, helping shoppers save in the long run. Additionally, meal planning and reducing food waste can stretch grocery budgets further. Buying only what is needed and repurposing leftovers can cut down on unnecessary spending. Beyond just adjusting shopping habits, staying informed about economic trends, supply chain disruptions, and government policies that impact food inflation is more critical than ever. Understanding how import tariffs, supply shortages, and interest rates affect prices can help consumers make smarter financial decisions in 2025. As the economy continues to shift, being proactive and strategically managing grocery spending will be key to weathering the storm ahead. Are you already feeling the impact of rising grocery prices? For millions of Americans, grocery shopping has become an ongoing financial challenge, with basic essentials now costing significantly more than they did just a year ago. Many families have been forced to rethink their food choices, cut back on non-essential purchases, and stretch their budgets further than ever before. We want to hear from you. How are these price hikes affecting your grocery trips? Are you noticing higher prices on eggs, dairy, meats, and other essentials in your area? Have you had to switch to cheaper alternatives, buy in bulk, or shop at discount stores to manage your budget? Maybe you've stopped buying certain foods altogether because they've become too expensive. Let us know in the comments below how you're adapting to rising grocery costs in 2025. This crisis is affecting millions of households across the country, and your experience could help others find new ways to save and adjust in these challenging times. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss critical updates on the economy and how it's impacting your daily life. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.